Good afternoon. Welcome in the third part on the saga of Abraham. I would like that we just have few steps backwards, that we have some passage from Genesis chapter 11, the last part from the 11th chapter. There is a passage which might be considered quite difficult because there's different list of names, but it's very, very interesting. These are Terah's descendants. Terah fathered Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Haran fathered Lot. Haran died in the presence of his father Terah and his native land Ur of the Chaldeans. Abram and Nahor both married. Abram's wife was called Sarai. Nahor's wife was called Milcah, daughter of Haran, father of Milcah and Ishah. Sarai was barren, having no children. Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law, the wife of Abram, and made them leave Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. But on arrival in Haran, they settled there. Terah's life lasted 205 years. Then he died at Haran. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. I really like the story of Abraham. It's quite interesting, first to see what we know of him. That he's married, but he has no children. His wife is barren. We have heard before already that he's 75 years old when he had the meeting with the Lord. So we can see he's really experiencing of some kind of difficulty or challenge in life. Not having children in that time means really to be kind of helpless, not having anybody who will be inheriting what you accumulated in life. Sounds kind of like really failure in life. And plus, his name Abram means exalted father. So someone who have that name but not have no children, that sounds like a contradiction on a laughing stock. Really, every time who someone calling him by name, it was like a slap in his face. Because the children was, they were really, children were the sign of a blessing, of strength, of security. And he have none. And so we see that this is the situation. And then God will call Abraham in his very concrete situation, which is very important to see that God is coming to call us. So we can see the Lord is calling Abraham in his very concrete situation of life, and it is as well for us that God is calling us in a very concrete situation of our life. But how the Lord is speaking to us? Of course, we have many ways to communicate with the Lord. Maybe it's not too easy, but at least sometimes seems it is not easy. But here is very particular, very interesting element in the story of Abraham. In chapter 15, verse 7, it is said that the Lord said, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this country as your possession. So it is said it is the Lord who called him. But here in the chapter 11, we hear that Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law, the wife of Abram, and made them leave Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. So it is the Lord who called him from there, or it was Terah who took him from there? Both. Probably it was, yes, some historical connotation, maybe his father, Terah, taking Abram and all the family, and they decided to move. But then, later on, they arrived to Haran. They settled in there, but there Terah died, and they continued the journey. So later on, from the perspective, Abraham will see that this journey, this movement, what started in Ur of Chaldea, it was initiated by God, even though if it was done by, through the person of his father. It's very important to see this, that God sometimes talks to us through our parents, through our spouses, through our teachers, of course, maybe in the church, through homilies, through the Word of God, the Scriptures, through story of saints, sometimes even movies or concrete situation of our life, events of our life. He speaks to us. Then, from the perspective of time, we can say it was the Lord who told me this. That event, that phrase, that story, that person in my life, that was the Lord. So it is beautiful to see how God, it's kind of, God is really very humble. He acts in our lives not through fireworks and some extraordinary events. Sometimes, yes, sometimes that happens, but most of the time it is very simple life. Simple event of life, routine, and the Lord comes with the great promise. So we see God respond to the situation of sin with the call of Abraham, with the call of a weak person. And he will be shown to be faithful in the story of Abraham. Faithful in many ways. We will see, hopefully we will see that many of the promises will be not fulfilled in the time of life of Abraham. On one hand, we will see Abraham who is fully satisfied with his life, what he was longing for. With all his being, he will receive. But the promises and fulfillment of the promises will trespass all the expectation of Abraham. That certain things will be fulfilled in the life of the descendants of Abraham, and then in all the children of Abraham, which is all the believers. So it is interesting to see that there are concrete names, concrete relations, and how God speaks directly to our hearts, yes, but also through the events of our life, through the persons around us. So not to despise that element, that maybe the Lord is speaking to you something through the person next to you. He wants to tell you something. He wants to call you to start a journey. Maybe we feel comfortable in our situation, but someone is just asking you a favor, and you have to go out. Maybe, but that's what the Lord wants. Have a great afternoon. God bless you.